When it comes to titling your book or stories, do you ever find yourself unsure of what makes a good title? It should be catchy, but how do you accomplish that? Where do you even start, and how do you know if the title will be a hit? That's exactly what we're talking about today. From a title's creativity to its searchability online, you'll want to stick around. Hey guys, Nour here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about choosing a title for your book because, let's be honest, titles are one of the hardest things to come up with as a writer. I know it took me 2.5 years to come up with the title Divinity Falling, just because I wanted it to be good. Obviously, I was writing the novel during that time, but it wasn't like I was just sitting around thinking of the title and only that.
Nour, you haven't moved from that couch in 2 years.
No, I move when I think of a title.
Do something else.
No, I sit and I think. And yeah, titles are hard, but I have learned a thing or two about titles. For one, you always want a unique title, one that stands out. I mean, imagine if you wrote a book and then titled it Larry Scotter. Not only is that tacky because you are stealing a title, but you no longer have a title that stands out. So when you're coming up with yours, keep yours unique. Don't try to steal a title style from another author. Just don't try to make your title too similar to another author. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from best-selling titles. Some formulas are great. For example, The Hunger Games, A Game of Thrones, The Cruel Prince, and A House of Salt and Sorrows. These are a few examples I personally like. They're fun to say, they're memorable, and they create a clear image in the reader's mind. But don't try to come up with a title that follows these to a T that you lose sight of your own story. It's hard coming up with a unique title, but it's also worth it because those are the ones that really succeed. So how exactly do you come up with a unique, memorable title? Number one, you could come up with a thematic or symbolic image that stands for something at the heart of your story. Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell is a great example of this. It's the last image in the book, the husband leaving Scarlett O'Hara after all the things she'd done that slowly ruined their relationship.
You know, Nour, I think I'll also follow suit and leave with the air.
You mean Gone with the Wind?
Gone with the... Yeah. See ya.
Whew, a breeze. And of course, he walks off into the wind and fog. So the title symbolizes and even hints at the way the book will end. Symbolic titles are great because they allow you to think outside the box and even find something that resonates with you and will resonate with your readers. My title, Divinity Falling, is another example of a symbolic title. It obviously refers to angels and divine beings falling from heaven. Mainly, it's referring to one of my main characters, Adriel, falling from heaven. But it is also a double meaning, hinting at Adriel falling in love with being human and with Addie. And not to forget that it also symbolizes Lucifer's fall from heaven too.
Help me! I've Divinity Falling and I can't get up! So stupid.
Here's another example of a symbolic title for you, To Kill a Mockingbird, which symbolizes the loss of innocence. Number two, you could choose the name of your protagonist or the setting of your story as your title.
Nour, I've decided to name my book after my best character.
Oh wow, so you're naming it Nicholas after the protagonist?
What? No, I'm naming it Michael after me, the author.
Obviously, you have books like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Wuthering Heights, which is the name of the book, Mansfield Park, and The Mount of Monte Cristo. Those are great titles because they make it clear who or what the story centers around. However, I would avoid doing this unless you're writing a series or think a person or setting would stand out. Otherwise, these are a tad overdone and can get boring in my opinion. Number three, you can choose the main conflict as your title. You know, much like The Hunger Games, A Game of Thrones, The Maze Runner, and The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. All of those either name the conflict or indicate what it's going to be. If you have a conflict that is large in scale, as in it's so big that it can affect the story world, then you might be able to pull off this type of title. Number four, make sure you keep your title's search engine optimization, or SEO, in mind. What do I mean by that? Well, if you search your book title online, what comes up? Do you see other authors' books? Do you see something completely unrelated to books, like the name of a rock band or some advertisement for some cleaning products? Hey, so I couldn't find your book on Google no matter how much I searched.
It may have been a mistake to title my book The Adventures of Mr. Clean and the Kleenex Crew.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
They're already products, aren't they?
Yeah.
but the name just kind of spoke to me.
No.
I'm gonna go need a Kleenex, I'm not okay.
If so, then your book title, unfortunately, is a bad one. Remember, you want to stand out, and if you look up your book and find other book titles, then you're not standing out. Or if your title is mixed up with a well-known product or person, then that makes your title not very memorable. You must choose a title that ends up getting its own links front page on Google and other search engines if you were to search it up. For instance, when I first came up with the title Divinity Falling, I did some research to make sure that no one else had this very same title. Of course, the word divinity and the word falling did come up, oftentimes with angel references, but the two words never came up together and no other products, businesses, websites, or people came up when I did that search. So I knew my book title was unique. It's really important that when someone searches for your book, they see it first thing before anything else. And if other books have the same title, then yours might not be listed on the same search page, and then readers might not even find it. This also applies to results on bookstore and library search pages. Funny enough, I made a mistake of choosing a poor title for my older novel, Dance with the Devil, which I wrote 9 years ago before college. If you look up Dance with the Devil, you'll find so many others with this exact same title, including a song by the band Breaking Benjamin. And most likely, you won't even find my book on the first search page. So, much different results from my new novel, Divinity Falling. So learn from my mistakes and learn from my tips, and there you have it. I truly believe that these tips should help you come up with a great title. Obviously, I can't help you with the actual name of your book, but I do suggest that you wait until you finish writing your entire novel before you decide on a title. Because your story might just inspire you when you look at it as a whole. Plus, it's always a good idea to run your title by friends to see what they think. Let me know in the comments, how do you typically choose your book titles? I'd love to know. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frame from my shout out tier over on Patreon, as well as all my other patrons. You guys are awesome. I cannot thank you enough for your support. And don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day. And remember, Nour for president!